Wuthering Heights, which I believe I've been saying Wuthering Heights. I don't know why. I know what it is. Just the more I saw the movie, the more I was like, man, I should probably just correct myself. So yeah, Wuthering Heights, based off of a book from 200 years ago. Loosely based on a book. I'm going to note pretty heavily here. Loosely based on a book.
Very loosely.
I will have a rant at some point during this review about. I don't really care if you liked it or didn't like it. There is a sect of review that is bothering me. That I'm like, well, what are we doing here? So we'll get into that in a second. Emerald Fennell, the director and writer, she writes and directs all of her stuff. She did Promising Young Woman, won an Oscar for that. She did Saltburn, then a crazy movie, which I think Saltburn might be to blame for some sort of or expectation setting for this movie. Tragedy strikes when Heathcliff, by the way, it's the number one problem with the movie and the book. Anyone named Heathcliff, I can't take seriously. That's just a cartoon cat. Even though I know the cat came out many years later. Falls in love with Catherine, a woman from a wealthy family in 18th century England. Had one of the better trailers that we saw last year, I thought. Very spicy trailer, very well done. Charlie XCX does the music in the movie, not the score, but does the songs, does the needle drops. And I thought the trailer was just fantastic. Just a great trailer, made you want to see it. I think even if you're not someone who's into those types of dramas, and played into, again, her last movie, Saltburn, which even if you didn't love it, I enjoyed Saltburn. It has some flaws, but like you're like, oh, this is going to be that. This is going to be some fucking wild shit. Comes out Valentine's Day. Holy shit. Did pretty well at the box office, $82 million opening worldwide. Could reach $40 million domestically by the end of President's Day weekend, but it's at I think $38 million. Domestically,
it's not doing what they hoped it would do. It's doing well, but not what they hoped.
Yeah, it's doing decent enough. Shout out to.
Wait, it's not doing well?
I don't think it hit the expectation. But I think it's like solid. You want to see? I do want to shout a movie we reviewed last week. Send Help only had like a minimal drop, and it has like really good legs at the box office. So that's very cool to see. Movie like that.
And I think that's a big reason why, Jeff, you're seeing this maybe not do as well as expected, where couples went to see Send Help maybe because of word of mouth,
could be,
instead of seeing Wuthering Heights for Valentine's Day.
What was it projected to make?
I saw as high as 50, but I think people were saying maybe 40s, low 40s was kind of, it kept going up and up and up, and then all of a sudden it started going down. So
yeah. Because I see like 80 million global opening, and I'm like, that's an underperformance. Jesus Christ. How much was this movie supposed to make?
Only relative, right?
Yeah.
6.4 IMDb, 56 Metacritic, 3.0 on Letterboxd. Everything we reviewed today is around a 3.5 on Letterboxd. Look, who here has read the book?
I have not.
Apparently the only people in the history of this country to attend school and not read the book, the four of us, by the way. I've known more people I've never knew in my life read this book, or like, yeah, I read the book in school. It's like, well,
no,
okay.
Never a sign.
Never came close to Bronte, I don't think.
Hammer home. This is a non-book reader's review. The discourse on Letterboxd between book readers is nasty. Some of the nastiest shit I've ever seen. They are at each other's throats. They don't like people who like it, hate the people who don't like it. It's crazy. It's quite funny, honestly. But it is kind of all over the place. Kenjac, I'll have you start. What'd you score Wuthering Heights?
I really did not like this movie, really at all. I'm happy saying 45 out of 100 for Wuthering Heights. I did not like this movie, really outside the technicals one bit. I think it's very non-committal, and I think it's a slog. This movie felt like it was never, ever, ever going to end. It felt like it was too cowardly to pick a direction between erotica and drama, and I really did not like it. It didn't want to be too horny and lose the dramatic credibility, and it didn't want to be too dramatic and lose the horn dogs. And I think that was a humongous mistake by Fennell, and that safe approach really frustrated me. And like the big thing, I guess maybe the draw for a lot of people is like, oh well, it's Margot Robbie and it's Jacob Elordi, and like they'll be able to carry it, and like their chemistry is good. They're both extremely hot people. There's no way you can deny that. And the scenes where you get them together, I like they mostly work. I detested every human being in this movie, and I did not care, and not in a way with like something like like Succession, right? Like they're bad people, right? Like you watch something like that and you root for them, and like you have character depth, but it just felt like two moronic teenagers that did not know what love was and were just blinded by lust. So that's fine, because that movie can exist and be good, but when your ending hinges so like purposely on their love connection, that to me just doesn't work. And I really did not like it. The cinematography is fantastic. It's like as good as anything you're going to see this year. Same with the music. The music good, really, really solid. It's just like half this movie feels like an elongated music video. Other half of it's just feel like she's shooting scenes purposely to put into trailers or to put into like edits on TikTok and stuff. And I did not care for this really one bit. I credit to the actors. I don't think they did anything wrong. It's just I think this is Fennel really, really badly needs a co-director, like somebody to sort of curb her worst impulses and be like, this is not like the Coen brothers, when they separate, they just kind of like, you need someone else. Same thing with like the Safdies to a degree. Like you need somebody else to just kind of like give her more direction story wise, because she just does not. And you can say this, I would say the same thing with Saltburn, and even to a degree with Promising Young Woman. Like she needs someone to give her a little bit more direction. So not a big fan. 45 out of 100 for me.
Okay, Klemmer, what did you think?
Yeah, Emerald Fennell, the screenwriter, did Emerald Fennell, the director, no favors here. I give this a 48 out of 100. I appreciate how this movie looks. I appreciate the soundtrack. I think Charlie XCF stuff was really good. I think that it looks phenomenal, like Kenjac said. But like he said, like I just didn't like these people. And I think, at least for me, for a love story, I need to want these people to fall in love. I need to want these people. I want to root for these people. At least give me something. These were people that I actively hated by the end of this movie. And it's like, it's not that I don't care if they get together. It's like, I want them to fall off the earth. Like, I don't want to be around the company of these people anymore. And it's funny because like Saltburn, I thought was a lot better. And those are a lot of unlikable people too. So it's not that. I mean, my favorite movies are Goodfellas and The Godfather. So it's not like a situation where I'm like, all right, I can't watch a movie with unlikable people. But something about these two really just rubbed me the wrong way. And I don't know, like our coworker Kelly Keegs had a tweet though and said, if I cannot recommend this movie to any straight men. Like it's a movie for women. And maybe she's right. Like maybe it's not. Maybe how we view the world is different. I don't know. My wife liked it more than I did.
Speak on it, Klemmer. Speak on the gender differences in this country. Klemmer.
No. I mean, there are gender differences, and there are gender differences in movies.
How
Some
many?
movies are for guys, like more for guys. Some movies are more for, and maybe this is more.
Yeah, I mean,
for
this was
women.
made by someone who felt like an awakening reading this book as someone in high school. It's a woman who writes. So, like, obviously factor that in. Like, I mean, that's like there is an element to that. Like, I definitely see where that's coming from. I get that. Now, that's not gonna like.
I think it's a fair thing to bring up when we have four guys talking about it.
For sure.
Yeah, she writes like a teenage girl, but I think women deserve their own Michael Bay. Like Michael Bay writes like a 15-year-old boy, and you know what? He turns out stuff like Armageddon and Transformers, and they are fucking iconic, and we glom onto them. And I think Emerald Fennell is that for women.
Sure.
Like she writes like a fucking idiot. Like this is written by like a girl who spent 10 years of her life just scrolling through Tumblr and looking at GIFs. But like, is that a problem? I don't know. Like this is making $80 million opening weekend. She's a name brand director, 2 movies in. I think what she's doing is pretty impressive.
But the movie can still not be good though, Gooch. Like all those things can be true, and I can sit here and say I didn't like it. Now it also might not be for me. Like I think both those things can be true.
But there is something there. Is what I find so fascinating. Like
I think it's definitely not for any of the four of us. I want to be very clear about that. I don't. I think no matter how much you liked it, I could say I gave this a 95 out of 100, but it's not for me though. Like that's the, I think that is like I don't think that's much like a very deniable thing though.
Right.
I think the big difference between Zack Snyder and like or Michael Bay, like those guys, they aren't trying to make art like an art with that. When you're making Ambulance or you're making Transformers, like you're not trying to make something purpose built like adapt. Like they're not adapting a fucking 1800s English literature novel. You know what I mean? Like they're not going for drama. And I think that this movie does. They are explicitly trying halfway through to go for that dramatic ending. And when you're doing that and you're failing, I think that's just you're shooting for different goalposts. And I do think there could definitely be a female version of those directors. I don't think Fennel's.
But like women don't read, like they're not reading comic book stuff. Like they
well, no, but I mean
this is their trash. Wuthering Heights is a trashy book. Like it's not like when it came out, it was salacious and a complete, rejection of everything of the times and like very, against the times. I don't think it's like this hoity-toity thing that I think you're painting it as. I think
No,
it's
but I
very
don't think
trashy.
I think it's very different from something like Transformers, and I think the way that she plays it in this movie is definitely for more of a dramatic angle than something like fucking action doofus Zack Snyderism.
Is it though? Like she plays it like a dollhouse. It's pretty explicit that this is basically like a girl playing with her dolls. Like it's directly addressed in the movie that she
They have
is
the big
this like
your big moment at the end of the movie is supposed to be like, hey, look, these guys loved each other so much they couldn't live without each other and they starved themselves to death. I don't view that as Zack Snyder. I view that as I'm going for a dramatic effect.
yeah, but that's like I don't view that as like this like unapproachable like you need to go through college classes to understand it. I think that
No,
is
not at
like
all. Not at all.
that is like a story for girls, young women. Like that is a story
It's the
that they
same
will
story as
gravitate
Romeo and
towards.
Juliet, and Romeo and Juliet is considered one of the best dramas of all time.
Yeah, but I don't think the drama of it all like makes it something that young people would not. I don't.
Trash
see
for
where you're going.
girls is going to be different than trash for guys. I'm kind of with Gooch on this
Yeah.
one. Like,
Yeah,
No, I agree with that. I think that there can definitely be like there's a zone for trashy TV and trashy movies for women. They exist and they are made all the time. All those movies. I don't think that when I watch this movie, I don't feel like that was the goalpost here. Like that didn't view to me like she's spending all this money, she's putting all this effort into, she's painting this big beautiful portrait drama in the fucking 1800s and trying to be like, well, I'm making Bridgerton here. I don't feel like that's what they're doing.
I mean Charlie XCX doing the sound. I think this is very much a trashy poppy movie.
I don't feel it played that way. I don't feel like it played like that way at all. Like a Bridgerton or like some fucking. I think of a better version of like a.
I think there's definitely.
Like
I kind of. I mean, it's a cop out, but I kind of agree on almost both sides a little bit because I do get what Gooch is saying, and I don't fully disagree with that. And I'm curious what he's about to give it. And what'd you give it, Klemmer? Just sorry.
48.
Okay, but there is like. Maybe I don't know if Michael Bay is the best like direct example, though I do get what you're saying because I do think there's a little more art and there's something to her stuff that's a little different in my eyes than what Bay's throwing down as he hurls fucking megaphones at people. But what'd you give it, Gooch? Let's let that be the lead into your what did you think?
I'm at a 65. This movie is a fucking mess. Like it just is a fucking mess. Like it really.
So that's also what I gave it for what it's worth.
Yeah, like there are, and we're all in agreement here. Movie looks fantastic. Linus Sandgren, like
great.
I don't know if he's gonna stick around into like through the entire awards circuit, but this should be in the conversation. I mean, like, and along with the production design, I mean, colored walls, crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's very inventive and cool and very nice to look at. Like this will be in a million TikTok edits from now until forever. I mean, just gorgeous. And the soundtrack's awesome too. I actually did really like that, the Charlie XCX soundtrack underlying everything. But I mean, it takes liberties from the book, from what I understand, like massive liberties. Like the end point of where we end this movie is basically the halfway point of the book. So that's crazy. So if you're gonna do something different, I think she could have done a lot to tweak the characters a little bit more. Because also, Klemmer, to your point, you said you hate these characters. From what I understand, this is like kind of what they're like in the book too. Like they are kind of despicable and mean and just vengeful people that you don't really like, and they make these weird decisions because it's late 19th century England and they don't talk to people. Like they see one person a week and they're just weird people. So I wish she would have done some updating in that department. Like if you're going to start taking liberties, fix it for the modern age. Don't, go half-ass there. And I guess that's what Kenjac was saying too. Like it's almost like you're wanting to do the Wuthering, and the quotations are kind of emblematic of that whole problem. It's like either do it or don't. Do it or don't. And I feel like she got caught in the middle here. The second they have sex, by the way, this movie loses all steam, which is not what should happen.
Yes, I would.
I won't say when it happens, but the second they have sex is when like the yearning was working, like the yearning, the longing, the edging, that was really working. And then it completely loses all that power the second they start having an affair.
This
and
is
the
a
affair
spoiler.
montage is just
Technically, this is a spoiler that you need to hear if you're going to see it and you have certain expectations. It is on no planet as provocative and horny as the trailer wants you to think it's going to be. It's like it is, which is a shame in a sense that it's, I don't know if shame is the right word, but what Gooch said I think is spot on, is that this is best when it's really towing the line and kind of like revving the engines up. And the second it starts the car, you're like, all right. Like it kind of loses a lot of its like juice. Like there's some real creeps out there who I'm sure like, ooh, not enough nudity none actually for my liking. But like, hey, that's fine. If it's not going to be the psychotic like horny fest that I expected from the trailer, that's fine. But I liked kind of what you just said, Gooch, right? Like this building up this tension, and unfortunately it hits this middle ground, which it should never be in. It should be either here or it should be if you're listening, you should either be on the one side of the middle ground, right? It should either be the most tension built, never hit that climax thing possible, or go balls to the fucking wall. So it did land in a zone. Again, that's a spoiler that I do think you need to hear if you want if your expectations are a certain way. Because I was surprised by that. I liked them together. Like I have the same score as Gooch. I actually think they work. I see people say that they don't like the chemistry. It's hard to right now parse a lot of reviews and how many of the reviews are people angry about book stuff. I do not give a fuck what you think about the book. I don't care. Like if you can't see that she did her own pure her viewpoint change things up adaptation, then like you shouldn't go see the movie. I don't know. This movie is this is gonna make Kenjac fucking curl. This movie's very Romeo plus Juliet coded in terms of like
Extremely.
in terms of like doing your own thing completely different, taking source material, and it doesn't always work for everyone, and some people it does, some people it doesn't. Myself and Kenjac are the best example of Romeo plus Juliet. It'll always be the biggest chasm between our like scores we'll ever release. But like I don't mind that at all. Like I think to make that a critical point of this movie is like batshit. Like I just think it just so defeats the purpose of like going to see movies and movies being made, and like she did her own adaptation, her own take, her own twist. With that said, I will agree with Gooch. I liked a good amount of this. I think the last third is where it really slugs for me. Like I don't think the whole thing's a slog for me, but the last third, it loses a lot of the steam. I think a lot of the built up tension, a lot of the feelings of the characters' chemistry kind of fizzles out, unfortunately, due to some of the creative decisions. But I just wish she would have gone for it harder. Like I just wish she would have, like you were saying, Gooch, like if you're gonna do your own thing, fucking full send. Have John Leguizamo with the gun, with the Shakespeare written on it. Like go full all the way out. Because I do think, again, I liked them. I've seen some people say they don't like the chemistry. Personally, for me, I enjoyed the chemistry. I thought they worked well together. I think Elordi's really good. He's kind of on a roll right now. I always like Margot Robbie. I think supporting cast is really solid. I don't hate the writing. It looks great. Music's great. I just like the story. If the final third had hit harder, I think this would have been like, oh, I'm kind of into this like trashy, like artsy attempt here. So that's kind of that was my big, that was the rant I was talking about. If you don't like it, great. Like I have no problem with what Klemmer say about the movie. We're not that far off in the long run anyway. But if your main reasoning is you don't like it changed stuff from the book, like what the fuck are we doing? Like that's not, then go read the book. Leave the theater and go.
That's
read
always
the
my
book.
thing.
I don't know what to tell you.
If you're gonna, that's always been my thing with the book adaptation. Any adaptation, like if you are going to beg for accuracy from the book, like translating it over to a screen, like that's just not. It's not the same medium. It's impossible. Like
it's a shame, Jeff, because what you're saying I agree with a lot, especially that third act, because we saw her do this with Saltburn, and Saltburn gets wild and weird, but like it kind of like helps the movie, it elevates the movie, I think, and it makes the movie like more fun and more interesting and more different. Like with this, you're right, you guys are right, like it's too caught in the middle, and we've seen the same director go wild before, go wild again.
There's gray fucking in Wuthering Heights, the book. There's gray fucking in that book, and she did it in Saltburn, but she didn't do it here. Which is kind of strange, right?
That is weird.
I do, and I like her style. Like, I like what she does. I've always liked her stuff. I mean, I give it a 65. That's 20 plus points lower than her other two movies I have. I really think Promising Young Woman's great. I like the ending of that movie, and I think Saltburn, like, I'm someone who I do like kind of balls to the wall movie, and the more batshit a movie gets, I can excuse away some things. So like something like Saltburn, I really like. So this is a pretty large step. Like this is, compared to other movies, this is a failure in my eyes for her. I mean, we all kind of, not like anyone here has like a rousing score. But it's a bummer because even the stuff that, like the first 2/3, I did enjoy. I was like, oh, this is going, and then just that last third, it doesn't hit home. It just doesn't. I don't know. I think it's just some storytelling choices by her. I respect the shit out of her doing her own thing. This is what I read, and because she's had a lot of interviews obviously about it in the press tour. She's like, this is how I read it. It's how I viewed it when I read it. Great, but it just doesn't. It stops short. It's kind of. I never would have expected that from her. If you would have given me. And you said, hey, you're giving it a 65. Why? I'd have been like, it probably went too crazy. I'd have been like, it's probably just too much. I can't believe she stopped short. Like that's actually, it was shocking to me. I was like, damn, okay. It's a bummer.
See, that's the thing where I almost think you can't give her a ton of credit because she didn't commit. Like, I think the idea of it being like doing your own style, and that's something I didn't understand with anybody with book reservations having an issue with this trailer. Like, you watch that trailer, you're not getting some super faithful adaptation.
Right.
She's getting a very stylized her version of it. Like, I don't know what you would expect there. But I like her style of shooting. I like her style of her audio or acumen for like everything on the technical end of things. But it's just like she just did not commit. Like, you gotta commit. You gotta go full horny, go full freak fest, and then like I think I would respect this a lot more. It is really towing the line all the way through, and that really just frustrates me. But I mean, by the way, I want to shout out one actor who I think really stood out against maybe the grain here. His name is Martin Clunes, who played her dad in this.
Yeah.
That guy,
All-time death scene.
phenomenal death scene. And that guy, what a perfect decrepit English noble. Like, that's some guy that would be in Pirates of the Caribbean, like he is just like the teeth, the way he spoke, like the enunciation. Oh, he was fantastic. The whole cast was. I don't think there's a bad cast member here, but man, he crushed it.
I thought Allison Oliver was also great. Who's the sister in Saltburn?
Yeah.
She's the like frilly girl with the ribbons in this one. She was hilarious. Dates Josh O'Connor too. Powerhouse.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Couple. Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought movie was a lot funnier than I was expecting too. Like, all of her stuff has been funny, but this was like. You get into these period pieces, you don't often expect them to, make you laugh out loud. And this did several times. Like,
also respect the on location shooting. That's something you get afraid about anytime they do anything like this. But those like big rolling glens and the fog and stuff, like, man, it looked gorgeous.
It looked wuthering. Looked wuthering
we're
as fuck.
Shitting on it. This movie, man, those visuals are insane. The one sunset shot where like he's riding off into the distance, man, like, there's some really good stuff here visually.
It does rain a lot there.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what wuthering means. It's just stormy.
That it rains all the time.
This won't knock me off course as being a big defender of her, whether it be her last two movies, whether it be playing the great queen of the United Kingdom, Camilla Parker Bowles. She also, I think I forgot she was in the movie Albert Nobbs with Glenn Close. One of the great releases of 2011. This won't knock like it. I agree with what Kenjac just said. Like, I guess it's probably, as an apologist of her, as a fan, I mean, apologies, she's won an Oscar, but like, yeah, maybe she shouldn't get full credit. She didn't go all out, but I do think like she will next time. That's like maybe that's like me trying to write it off as a fan of her stuff, but like, it doesn't knock me off course of being a fan of her shit, because I do think she still has, I think she has a great eye for making a movie that looks great. I think she's got really great instinct in terms of like needle drops and music and how to pump in things that may not be a song or a choice that you'd expect. I think the Charlie XCX thing was great here. So excited to see what she does next. This was just a step down. This was a bit of a bummer. Wanted more.
It's not one I'm against like rewatching though. I will say that. Like, there is just a lot of great stuff here. Like it will be in so many fucking edits.
So many.
Like, I mean, just so many. We will see this movie on our timelines until we die.
Big time.
Very similar scores: 45 from Kenjac, 48 from Klemmer, 65 for myself and Gooch. That is Wuthering Heights.